Hey guys, JH, welcome back. Okay, we'll hit a couple of shots down range. I just hit some 3 irons down range. Now it's pretty hard out of this rough here, but what I want to do is show you where the club goes on the backswing. Okay, now that's, you probably can't even see the ball from there because it's in a hole and this rough here is about 4 inches long. But I'll just rip these 3 irons out of here and it's a downhill lie. Okay, so it's just the revolving door, guys. Now that's when I feel like Rocco. Now when I see Rocco's tempo, he looks like that. He's very leisurely. And I feel like that. He looks very much like that. Now guys, you can just see that it's just this type of swing. It is the revolving door segment. The good thing is in this golf swing, if you're trying to just keep this lead axis in place and get the the trail axis back in line with it, so to speak, there's no feeling or propensity for the club to gain height. That's one of always been the backstops of my golf swing, in that I've never ever had a conscious feeling of the club going up in the backswing, ever. It always just maintains whatever height that I want it to, and it's only the turning of the shoulders that elevates the golf club, but there's no lift in my golf swing. So I'll try and do a really good job here of getting the trail axis back this way. See, that's such a leisurely swing, guys, but that's just gone miles. Now that probably looks like a very handy-pandy type golf swing, but as I said on the other video yesterday, I'm disguising the velocity and the power in that swing by way of it being just a very, very efficient golf swing. I mean, I don't have to go after it, I don't have to kill it. It's not necessary. I just don't have to do that. Now I will hit this hard, but it won't look hard. Now if you can see that ball flight, you know, they're all the same. They don't vary at all. Now I didn't hit any drivers on the other video, but I will. And I don't know why I don't think about getting the tees out of the bag before I come on camera. I think I'm just generally a very disorganised person. Okay, so this is the driver, guys, clearly. Now, one thing you'll notice with my golf swing, it really never looks any different from a wedge to a driver, and that's because I don't feel it's any different. I don't set up any different. I have my arms in the same position, connected here, hanging down. I do everything the same. And it's only the length of the golf club and whatever it is that gives the different distance, but I swing the same. And I don't try and hit the driver any harder than I do a wedge. Okay, here we go. Now I've got my feet in downhill here in a gully. I mean, that's pretty easy golf swing. Now there's a big tree up there and it's windy today, and that's a tree that is usually my indicator for if I'm hitting it good. Now the wind is off the beam here, so it's sort of a knockdown wind, but that just flew right into the top of the foliage of that tree. And that must look like a leisurely swing, guys. So I never worry about the ball position, ever. It just happens. Because I've got this here, I put the club down, there's the ball position, and the body just finds its way in to support the ball position. I mean, that's a bullet, absolute bullet. Whew. Now the good thing, guys, that I like about this swing is that it takes a lot of anxiety out of something like a driver. I don't feel this any different to a wedge. There's no anxiety, and because I'm so connected and I've got this one process, it makes it very easy to hit the driver. Very easy. So it's just like a little, I don't know, just like a, well, it is like a gate. It's like opening and closing a gate. That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel any different to that. It feels exactly like that. Okay, this time I'll fire the right side or the trail side around the lead axis. And guys, the other thing I've got to, which I tend to do a little bit, but the whole idea of having this gate on the hinge, away from the gate post, is you can't move that gate post, and you can't move the top of it. Sometimes I tend to do a little bit of that. If you can feel like you've got a steel plate against the side of your face here, and you never go past that plate, you'll feel a little bit like it's a reverse shift, but it's not. It's only because you're used to moving that staying still will feel like a reverse shift, but it's not. So I'll really do a good job on keeping the head in place this time, which Hunter Mahan does better than anyone ever has. I mean, that really gets going. So there's just a couple of things to think about, guys. Keeping the head there as if there's a plate there, so we basically feel like we're doing this. Don't think about doing anything with your hands. You can keep the hinge. I very much feel that the hinge works beautifully with this swing, because if I took it back with a cocking action, I tend to get this feeling going back with this this fixed lead axis. I tend to get very much of that feeling. Now, if the hand hinges like that, as opposed to cocking, it wants to continue on that plane. I don't want any cock in this golf swing. I want the arms to stay in front of the body, and I want them to do that. I want them to be the paintbrush. Now that's a very good action to have with this golf swing. Very good. I'll keep that head in place. That's just a bullet. See, that's gone way up there. Absolutely way up there. Alright guys, I'll just hit a couple of shots over the camera with just a sand iron, so you can actually see what it looks like. See what the clearance is like. See how much of this is through, and that's only a little shot. Now that's gone a mile. Now I don't feel any different with the longer clubs, guys. Not at all. Let's test you guys out of this rough. Woo-hoo. Okay, see how it just gets open. That's the thing I like. That's what I really like. I'll just hit a couple of drivers this way. So it's, I think it's a very simplistic golf swing, guys. Very simplistic. Trying to think what else I can tell you. I just hit a driver down range. Now watch the plane doesn't change. It's the same plane as the wedge. Now the good thing, guys, I think, is that by having this here, and we're basically just revolving around it, it always wants to pull you through to the finish. That's what I like about it. I just hit a couple of 3-woods up here. This is fun, hitting a 3-wood out of this rough. Woo! Especially with this 12 degrees. But watch, guys, but the point I want to show you is that my swing doesn't vary, whether it's wedge, 3-wood, drive, it doesn't matter. It's always the same. And it's the same feeling. Steel plate against the side of the head. Now that's really strong, beautiful flight, great contact, I mean super contact. Revolving door. See, it takes all that out of the shot. If the emphasis is on basically what you're trying to do with this golf swing, all that pre-result, which we always try and get, is gone. I don't think about any of the pre-result at all. There's none of that in my thinking. I'm not trying to get the ball to go anywhere. I'm just trying to do this swing. Okay, see if we can really do a good one. And good lead side axis around the front one. Good clearance here, guys. Okay guys, I don't think I can tell you any more than that. But yeah, so it's this. And if we can feel like this actually gets out of the way here somehow, I mean, you won't look that extreme, but feel that. Feel that. And you think about, if you're in that position and got that feel, what this has got to do on the downswing. It's got to get out of the way. It has to get out of the way. I'll just hit a couple of shots here with a very, very extreme application of that. I'll try and basically feel like I've got what I call a reverse hinge. I'll try and get the gate to go around this side of the post. I mean, that's a bit extreme in terms of thinking, but that's what I'm going to try and do, which will only mean that I'll probably be more stable than I normally am. Perfect. I've had a few guys actually ask me over the last few weeks, how many shots do I miss when I do the videos? Well, I've got to tell you, in all the years I've done the videos, I mean, I don't hit what I call misses. I might mistime a few, but I don't hit horrible shots. I had a couple on occasion when I had a few, you know, injuries with my fingers, might have come off a little bit, and, you know, might have just mishit it a little bit, but I've never, I don't miss-hit shots. And the good thing is, guys, the reason I don't most of the time is because there's so much concentration on what I'm trying to do. So I'm thinking about it. So I'm trying to execute what I'm thinking. And my thought processes are so strong when I'm in front of the camera that it just makes the whole process work. So I guess in all the years I've been doing them, and I can't remember hitting, you know, more than probably, you know, 5 or 6 shots that were what I would term misses. I mean, I've hit plenty that aren't 100%, but no misses. Well, not real misses. And that ain't no miss, baby. Yeah, guys, so it looks easy, and I promise you it is easy. Probably the easiest process that I've ever been involved in. And I spent a bit of time looking at Hunter Mahan in the States, watching him hit golf balls, and he was impressive. I don't know why he doesn't win. I think he could be the best ball striker out there. I don't know anyone who hits it better than him. I really don't know anyone that actually flights the ball better than him. Maybe John Senden, but Hunter just hits it. I mean, he's just a machine. He's a little bit balky when it comes down to getting a result, which we saw in the Ryder Cup and that type of stuff, and he's not a great putter. But as a ball striker, I mean, he just flushes it. And it's this golf swing. Okay, last shot. This is Hunter. Okay guys, I'll think of other things, but that's just a little bit of a follow-up from yesterday, and just maybe some more imaging. Okay, we'll do more as we go forward.